Michelle Torrio, and this is the Be Mindful podcast. Hello, and welcome back to the Be Mindful podcast. On today's episode, we're going to be focusing on limiting beliefs. We're going to talk about how they arise, where they come from, and how we can respond to them to let them go. This topic came up for me because recently I've also been dealing with some limiting beliefs coming my way. And it took me a second to realize that it was a belief I needed to let go of. Recently, I set a goal to lose some body fat and reduce some inflammation in my body. And I started to doubt myself, thinking that I wouldn't be able to create these changes, these physical changes in my body, creating this crazy belief that I could not improve, which is ridiculous. Like, why, right? And that's exactly what I asked myself. Like, why do I have this belief? Where did it come from? Let's let this shit go. And that's my goal for you on this episode. It's to recognize any limiting beliefs that is preventing you from showing up to be your best self. Anything negative, anything holding you back, anything that is stopping you from moving forward and achieving what you desire. This is something that I dive really deep into in my Next Level Transformative program, because in order to create change, we need to change our identity. And when you are growing into the next level, your mind is introduced to new thoughts that your old self did not have to confront. And that's exactly why you need to go through an identity change, because you are stepping into a different version of you. So if any of that sounds interesting, go ahead and check the link in my description and you can join the waitlist. You can join me in my live trainings. So let's get right into the episode. When you are trying to expand, step into this next level, your mind is going to try to protect you because it's so safe with familiarity. So let's talk about where these limiting beliefs come from, and then we're going to talk about how you can create a new story that defines the new identity that you're trying to become. Limiting beliefs are formed based on what you're taught and also your life experiences. So for example, when I was younger, I was bullied about my body. And so growing up, I struggled a lot through body image. I do want to mention too, though, that anyone could have experienced exactly what I did, but still had a different outcome. Instead, I could have just ignored what had happened to me and just believed that I didn't have a weird body. I literally believed I was deformed. It was such a sad belief. And I look back at my younger self and I feel so bad for her. I give her so much love. And I wish she gave herself so much more love. And I could have done that. But back then, I didn't have the mindset that I have now. I really struggled with confidence and a lot of, outside validation. So because of my experience, I believed that I was deformed. I did not believe that I was good enough. The way you talk to yourself, the things that you believe about yourself have such an impact in your life and how you show up. If you don't believe that you are capable, you're good enough, you're beautiful, and you constantly put yourself down, you are just going to feel this way for the rest of your life if you don't recognize how limiting you are being towards yourself. And sadly, most of us go through our life not realizing how limiting we are towards ourselves. We don't even realize how mean we are. And it took me a long time to realize that, because for so long, I just didn't think I was enough. It took me years until I was pretty much fed up to recognize that I don't want to feel this way anymore. And that's another reason why I'm very passionate about talking about this stuff, because I've been there where I was so hard on myself. I was like a Debbie Downer towards myself, but I was constantly cheering up my friends, telling my friends that, oh, don't think that way towards yourself, like think positive. But I wasn't actually walking the walk, So if there's something that you are working towards or something that you want in your life, or maybe you literally just leveled up and it feels like imposter syndrome, I challenge you to ask yourself, like, what is the belief that I would need to have for myself to level up, to believe that I am worthy enough to be at this level. When I was going through my coaching certification, something I learned that really stuck with me and really helped me recognize, okay, this is a limiting belief, is if it makes you feel like crap. If it's negative, it's weighing your energy. If that thought is weighing you down and holding you back from your full potential, that is a limiting belief that you need to become aware of. We cannot change without awareness, and recognizing what the limiting belief is and where it came from can allow you to move forward. I think it's important to acknowledge where it came from because it's kind of like a light bulb moment, like, oh, that's why I think this way. That's where that came from. And for me, I was very hard on myself on everything I did. Like if I didn't do well on something, even though I gave my best, I would still tell myself like, oh, I should have done better. I could have done better. And the reason why I would speak to myself this way is because I saw other people in my life doing that. But I didn't realize that my best was enough and that I wasn't giving myself enough grace. Like, that's not fair to me. Like, your best is going to look different every single day. So, why are you going to put yourself down? That's how I used to speak to myself. I would put myself down even when I was doing the best that I could. And that's not fair. Like, what is up with that, right? A great way to recognize like how you think and how you approach things is also looking back to your childhood and who you grew up with and how they would respond. Like for example, there's so many things that I do that I'm now realizing like, oh, my mom does that. My dad does that. There's so many things that they do that I look up to. And then there's other things that I'm like, I think I'm going to do that differently. This is also a time where you want to stop being the victim, right? Stop blaming other people for where you are today, like and how you respond to things today. Everyone has their own trauma. Everyone goes through shit, okay? I know it's sad to say, but no one cares about the shit that you've been through. And if you're just going to keep using that as a reason why you're not able to achieve things or get to where you want, then that's your problem. So we acknowledge it, we become aware of it, and we let that shit go. And this is where your power comes in. You recognize that you get to decide if this belief is in fact true to you. And that's where you can create a new story. Just like for me, I set a new goal to drop some body fat and reduce inflammation in my body. And that's a new goal for me. So, of course, some limiting beliefs came back up and then some old limiting beliefs resurfaced, especially me being someone who has dealt with body image issues. I started noticing those limiting beliefs coming back. And that's where I had to recognize, like, okay, I'm aware of it and I'm going to not believe in that bullshit because it's not going to do anything for me. When we start to put ourselves down, we just delay the process. We delay our greatness. So if there's any limiting beliefs that come up for you right now, like anything negative that you say to yourself often, recognize it. And I want you to ask yourself, like, do I believe this is actually true? And if you do, let's create a new story and say, fuck no, that's not going to be my belief anymore. I'm going to change that and create a new story for myself. In many past episodes, I have mentioned affirmations being a great way to start rewiring your mind. And that's a great start. I still recommend it. And your brain is not going to find it comfortable, especially if you are someone that says all the time that like, oh, I'm not good enough to achieve that goal, or I can never be a CEO. I can never be an entrepreneur. Like, why? Why? Challenge yourself and ask yourself, why do I think that? And then challenge yourself to figure out, okay, but what if I can be that? Like, what does that look like? And when you create the affirmation, let's say you do want to be an entrepreneur and you're trying to create a new belief, you could say, I'm open to believing that I am capable of being an entrepreneur. I am capable of being a CEO. So when you say I am or I am open to believing, that is you actively trying to rewire your mind. Now, I want you to remember that if you've had a specific belief for such a long time, it's going to be uncomfortable and you're not going to be able to let go of that belief instantly. For me, I've been practicing this for so long now that when a limiting belief comes up, I'm able to navigate it quicker than before. It's just like working out a muscle. Practice makes perfect and it gets easier and easier. And your brain creates new neural pathways based on new thoughts and experiences. So if you've believed something long enough, it starts to feel like the truth rather than a story. This is a reminder that this is your power. You have the ability to create a new narrative. So question the belief that's limiting you, and then decide what belief supports the life that you're building. So, for example, if you keep telling yourself that you're not ready, tell yourself instead that you are learning to become ready. Or if you keep telling yourself that I can never be this type of person, instead say, I'm becoming this person that can be at this level. Just like any expert, right? Like think of a doctor or a lawyer. They had to go to school, they had to become the expert, they had to learn to get to that level. This is the exact same thing. Life is just like a game. To get to every level, you have to become the expert in whatever you're focusing on. Changing your mindset is so life-changing, and I'm so passionate about it because I just want everyone to recognize like how capable and how great they are, and it all stems from within. You have to believe in yourself. You have to believe you are great. You have to believe that the reason that you're here is for a purpose. We are just like a little speck in the universe. So for some reason, you're here. So make it worthwhile. Create a life that you love. And no one said it was going to be easy. Limiting beliefs come at any level you reach. Millionaires even share that they have fear, and they have fear that they are not going to be able to level up to where they want to. And it's so wild because they'll share that they make $50,000 a month and how they want to make $60,000 a month, and questioning how are they going to do that. Like, what? You're a millionaire and you're still questioning that stuff? That just shows that at any level you're at, there's going to be challenges and there's going to be limiting beliefs that come your way, and you have to overcome them every single time if you want to level up into that person. I'm sorry if I sound like a broken record, but I just want this to, get real deep into your brain. And like I said, anytime you repeat something, that creates new neural pathways. So if you've been listening to all my past episodes and you listen every single week, then your mind is probably already changing. Okay, so we've talked about what limiting beliefs are, where they came from, and then we talked about how we're going to let go of them, and that's creating a new story. And the last thing I want to share with you is, okay, once we create this new story, how do we become a magnet based on that new belief, right? So let's say you are someone who wants to be a CEO, and how do you gravitate closer to that lifestyle? The most important thing is stepping into those feelings, asking yourself, like, how am I going to feel when I get there? Thoughts create emotions, and your emotions is what's going to attract whatever it is that you're trying to manifest. And the reason why is because your emotions influence your actions, and your actions create the results. And the actions that you put out into the universe will only attract what you want back. So as always, you got to do your part too, because God, the universe, the angels will see what you're doing and be like, oh, they're putting in the work. I see them. Let's throw in some challenges though to see like if they're still going to keep going, because that's just how life is, right? Challenges always thrown our way. And even if they come thrown our way, we have to continue to believe that we are capable and that we're going to keep going no matter what. And that's why opportunities start to come our way, especially when we're taking aligned action toward the things that we want. The emotional state that you hold constantly is what will attract in your life, and is what you will allow in your life as well. So for example, if someone is constantly feeling doubt, unworthiness, or fear, they're unconsciously reinforcing a reality that matches those emotions. But when you begin to practice emotions of belief and gratitude and joy, peace, possibility, faith, you start aligning with different outcomes, because your emotions are magnets to the experiences that match the story of the belief that you have towards yourself. The vision and the desire that God placed in your heart is a version of you that is required but doesn't exist yet. And that's where faith comes in. This is where you need to start rewiring your belief system and aligning your identity with the life that you dream of. This is something we also go into in my program. So if you are at all interested, check the link in my description to join the waitlist. But tying you back to faith, faith allows you to believe in something that you don't yet have evidence of. What I want you to take away from this episode is that if you have any limiting beliefs, remember, you could change the story. You could change the narrative. That is your power, because your limiting beliefs aren't the end of your story. They're just part of your past experiences. But again, at any time, any moment, you can create a new story. And what's powerful about these limiting beliefs is that they're actually invitations for you to grow. And if you find yourself doubting yourself or just very negative or insecure, those are your emotions signaling to you that you have some things to work on. There are limiting beliefs in your mind that is preventing you from really being the best version of you. For anyone who listens to my episodes, I just want you to know that I just want the best for you. Truly, I want the best for all of us. I want you to be able to look in the mirror and be proud of who you are. And if you struggle to look into the mirror and actually accept your greatness, that is your sign to work on yourself, because no one is going to cheer you on bigger than yourself. Imagine how much more you can do by just believing in yourself. And that is the end of today's episode. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe and follow wherever you are listening. And don't forget to be mindful, because who you are from within will attract from the out. See you in the next episode. Bye.